Cell-mediated immune response. The immune system is a very complex and the sophisticated nature of the system for providing protection against the invading or infectious agents like the pathogenic organisms or pathogenic microorganisms. So the nature has made this system very, very foolproof. Foolproof means that there are multiple components are being required in order to fight against such kind of versatile organisms. क्योंकि जो organisms हैं, pathogens, they are also very versatile. They have very intelligent, and that's why they have the immunoevasion mechanisms. That's why the nature has provided with multiple options in order to clear such kind of pathogen. So the one of the important mechanism are the cell-mediated effector responses. So in this chapter, we will discuss about all the cell-mediated responses, all different kind of these cells-mediated responses, either of the innate or the adaptive immune system we will discuss in detail. And as a result, how the pathogens they are just going to be controlled by such kind of responses. So cell-mediated immunity, that means that it is a very special kind of the immunity by which the pathogens or the microorganisms which are infective in nature, how they are just going to be controlled, that they are going to control using cells. So because the cells are one of the important component of the immune system. So here in this kind of immunity, the primarily the involvement of cells are being there, which are immune cells. तो cell to cell interaction होगी, cell to cell communication होगी, and such kind of cellular communication or cellular mediation, it would cause the removal or killing of the pathogen. That's why such kind of immunity that is being mediated by the cell is called as the cell-mediated immunity. And such kind of immunity is independent of antibodies. That means that primarily the antibodies are not being required in such kind of immunity. That means that primarily the role of the cells are being there. For example, the activation of the phagocytes or antigen-specific cytotoxic T lymphocyte. That means that the phagocytes or lymphocytes, either T lymphocyte, cytotoxic T lymphocyte, they are just going to be activated. That means there is no as such primarily role of antibodies. So such kind of cells are involved in order to provide the cell-mediated immunity. Then whenever these cells, they are just going to interact with one another, so they secrete certain kind of molecules or mediators which are called as cytokines. तो cytokines क्योंकि इन cells के दरमियान communication करते हैं, that's why these are called as cytokines. Cyto means cells and kines means, you can say that for the communication. So cell to cell इंटरेक्शन और सेल टू सेल कम्युनिकेशन में जो रोल है वो इन सिक्रीटरी मॉलिक्यूल्स का है, जो कि सेल्स आफ्टर एक्टिवेशन दे आर जस्ट गोइंग टू रिलीज. एक्टिवेशन से क्या मुराद है कि वो सेल्स जो कि एंटीजन स्पेसिफिक एंटीजन से एक्सपोज होंगे, दोज वुड बी कॉल्ड एज एक्टिवेटेड. Means before activation they are not activated, they are in a resting state. But whenever they are exposed to antigen, means जो infectious agent है वो बैक्टीरिया भी हो सकता है, वो वायरस भी हो सकता है, वो फंगस भी हो सकती है. That means that whenever such kind of cells they are just going to be exposed such kind of microorganism, then that means that these cells now they are activated cell, and activated cell then they will release the secretory molecules like cytokines. The humoral immunity, whenever we look in contrast to the cell-mediated immunity, there is the humoral immunity. That means that the cell-free body fluid के body का एक ऐसा fluid जिसमें mainly cells are not present, जो cell-free fluid है. For example, अगर हम blood की बात करते हैं तो blood is a tissue, connective tissue. It contains the cells, means blood cells, as well as a fluid that is called as the plasma or serum. तो जो प्लाज्मा और सीरम है डेट इज सेल फ्री, जो ब्लड के सेल्स को अगर सेपरेट कर दिया जाए तो जो फ्लूइडिक कंपोनेंट है डेट इज द प्लाज्मा और सीरम. So that cell-free component, it has certain protective molecules which is provided the immunity. That is called as humoral immunity, जिसमें major role है proteins का, like complement proteins or the immunoglobulins or antibodies, they are going to be there. But in this case, in cell-mediated immune response, there is the primarily actively involvement of the cells are being there. Okay, in cell-mediated immunity or the cellular immunity, that means that there is an association of the cells for protective function of immunization. That means that the cells, they are going to associate it with one another. अब वो cells कौन से हैं? Immune cells हैं. There are so many different kind of the immune cells. They are communicated, they are associated in such a way that they can provide the protective फंक्शन मीन्स इम्यूनाइजेशन कर सकें, जो कि इम्यूनिटी प्रोवाइड कर सकें अगेंस्ट द पैथोजन, एक डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म प्रोवाइड कर सकें. दैट्स वाई देयर इज नेसेसरी दैट इन सेलुलर इम्यूनिटी द एसोसिएशन बिटवीन द सेल्स मीन द कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Similarly, innate and adaptive immune system both have humoral and the cellular component or cellular immunity. Innate immune system की जब हम बात करते हैं, that is non-specific immune system, while adaptive immune system is specific kind of immune system. So both kind of immune system has both different components. Humoral components भी हैं और cellular और components they are also being there. पर्पस क्या है? पर्पस ये है कि जो इम्यून सिस्टम है उसको फुल प्रूफ बनाया जाए, उसको इतना एफिशिएंट बनाया जाए कि मींस इफ देयर इज सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ स्मार्ट पैथोजेंस विच हैज़ द एबिलिटी टू इवेड और बाईपास द इम्यून सिस्टम, अगर वो ह्यूमोरल कंपोनेंट्स को बाईपास करते हैं तो सेलुलर कंपोनेंट्स वुड बी देयर in order to provide further line of protection. और इसी तरह if they are evading the cellular component, then the humoral component would stay there for providing protection against such kind of pathogen. So this is very important in order to provide a foolproof system. The naive and the mature T cells convert into effector T cells after interacting with antigen via antigen presenting cells. तो टी सेल्स की जब हम बात करते हैं, देयर इज द मेजर रोल ऑफ टी सेल इन सेल मीडिएटेड इम्यूनिटी. नॉर्मली द टी सेल्स वेन एवर दे आर जस्ट गोइंग टू डेवलप इनसाइड द थाइमस, मीन्स थाइमस जो कि एक इम्यून टिश्यू है, इम्यून ऑर्गन है, वेन एवर द थाइमस इज गोइंग टू डेवलप द टी लिम्फोसाइट्स, सो इनिशियली दोज टी लिम्फोसाइट्स आर नाइव, or you can say that inactive or in a resting state. But afterward, whenever they are just going to expose with antigens, तो जो एंटीजेंस हैं जो कि बैक्टीरियल एंटीजेंस हो सकती हैं, वायरल एंटीजेंस, विद द हेल्प ऑफ द एंटीजन प्रेजेंटिंग सेल्स, मींस वो डायरेक्टली उसको एक्सेस नहीं कर सकती, एंटीजन प्रेजेंटिंग सेल्स की हेल्प के साथ whenever they are just going to present to naive cells, they are going to be activated. रेस्टिंग स्टेट से वो एक्टिवेटेड स्टेट में आएंगे, और जब एक्टिवेटेड स्टेट में आएंगे तो दे विल गोइंग टू स्टार्ट टू रिलीज दी साइटोकाइंस, और वो साइटोकाइंस देन दे विल एक्ट ऑन द सेम सेल इन ऑटोक्राइन मैनर, और वो उन सेल्स को फर्दर कैटेगरी में डिफ्रेंशिएट कर देंगे विच वुड बी कॉल्ड एज इफेक्टर टी सेल्स. इफेक्टर का मतलब है कि दे हैव जस्ट टू involve effectively in the removal of that foreign particle or antigen or microorganism or the pathogen that has entered inside the body. So these are the different states of the T lymphocyte: naive or inactive state, activated state, and the effector state. That means that that is fully functional state for the killing of that particular pathogen. Okay, the cellular immunity provides the protection in the following ways. Now, which are those ways? The first one is that the T cell immunity, as I have just mentioned you, that the T cells, they are the primary cells that are going to provide protection in cell-mediated immune response. So, the cytotoxic T lymphocytes, they are very active against the killing of the infected as well as the transformed cells. जो कि होस्ट इन्फेक्टेड सेल्स हैं उनकी किलिंग में, और जो होस्ट के जो ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड सेल्स हैं, ट्यूमरस सेल्स हैं, उनकी किलिंग में जो टी सेल्स हैं उनकी तरफ से जो कंट्रीब्यूशन मेनली है, दैट इज दी cytotoxic T lymphocyte for the killing, direct killing of such kind of pathogen. This is the one way that by which the cell mediated immunity come into action. The second important way, that means that by activating the macrophages for destroying pathogen, because the macrophage, they are the component of the innate or non-specific immune system. That's why they also come into action, or they kill the or remove the pathogen in a non-specific manner. जब हमने टी सेल इम्यूनिटी की बात की तो टी सेल्स दे आर द पार्ट ऑफ द अडेप्टिव इम्यून सिस्टम और स्पेसिफिक इम्यून सिस्टम. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर परफॉर्मिंग देयर फंक्शन वेरी स्पेसिफिकली. बट in case of macrophage, whenever they are just going to activate, they are also providing protection, but that protection is non-specific protection, not the specific protection. And another important component of the cells or the cellular component of the immunity, particularly the innate immunity, that is the NK cells. NK cells जो है जिन्हें हम natural killer cells कहते हैं, so they are also going to be activated, and whenever they are just going to be activated, they also kill the transformed cells or viral infected cells. So natural killer cells are also considered as the component of the non-specific or innate immune system. That's why they are non-specifically killing on the viral infected and the transformed cell. So all these three ways by which either the specific cells like T cells and non-specific cells like macrophages and natural killer cells, they are going to be activated in order to kill the transformed cells as well as the pathogen infected cells. So cell mediated immunity has a very major role in providing protection against the pathogen in such kind of ways.